One of the things about when you start to go to an outcrop to do some work, whether it's for a class or for research, something really important to think about is perspective and scale, because those usually get lost in the stampede to actually get some work done. And I found one of the most important ways to get perspective and scale is when you get to a new outcrop like this and you know you have a short amount of time, one of the first things you want to do is, go through with the date and the context and the weather and all that, and to note where you are on the island on your map. And then once you do that, then I like to start off with a nice sketch. So what I want you to do is get a crude measurement for yourself. You have a great tool in your arsenal, and that's called your body. So one of the tools that you need to think about for your body is what's the length of your stride. So if you walk normally, what's that length of your stride step to step? And that means if you have a question about something size, you can walk back and forth and measure it. So make sure you know what your stride is, and then if you're trying to figure out how tall something is, you can always stand up straight and look at it, and then you can always stride over to it, count the number of steps, get up to that position, and use your body as a measuring stick. Another good tool you have are the length of your hands, right? Or your thumb. And then you're going to want to have a scale bar. Vertical scale, and then lateral scale. You'll note the color of the rock. You'll note all the other things that go into it, right? But if you have this kind of very crude, basic boilerplate to work with, you'll find that it's very, very useful and important. I can tell you that, the fantasy world is that you think that if you're going to be a field geologist and do things that someday when you're a professional geologist, you're going to have a lot of time to go somewhere and take the care and the consideration and really map things out and really know what they are. But you know what the reality is? In my experience, working for oil companies or doing consulting for companies or working for the government or what have you, it's always the same kind of what I call a forced march, is that your job is to do the impossible in almost no time. And so these techniques of going to a place, getting a general idea of knowing exactly where you are, knowing the basic geology, getting a general idea of what's there, and then be able to map it out in crude diagrams in a way that you could come back and reconstruct it and then know where your samples came from. The reality of your lives in the future, if you become professional geologists, is that you're going to be doing that a lot. All right, so this isn't just some kind of mundane exercise as part of a field trip. This is actually pretty much what you're going to have to deal with on a regular basis. So why don't you finish up your sketch and then come across the road. We'll take a look-see.